Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is me, Jordan Young. This is a certified bus and hood classic, no cap on God. Today we're going to be catching up on a few sneaker news stories, including the drama that is packing more punch than Love Island, or something like that at the moment, man. We're going to talk about some of the developments in the story between 2J's Kicks and Urban Necessities. Paris Fashion Week, so we've been seeing a whole bunch of cool sneakers pop up left, right, and center. Got a whole bunch of new Kobe's as well, prompting people out there to accuse Nike of absolutely milking it. But let's start things off by recapping some of the week's biggest sneaker releases. So I think the biggest release that went down this week had to be the Nike collaboration with Pata on the Air Max 90. We had the Sneaker Zap release of the blue and the green colorway earlier on in the week, and then Pata released their own exclusive pairs online via their own website, which from what I've heard was like nigh on impossible to cop. Seems like bots pretty much ate on that release, which, you know, is disappointing for a lot of people out there that really wanted to come up on these two pairs, because I feel like the Pata exclusives were the more desirable colorways. But at this point, given how the sneaker scene is, you can't really blame the resellers out there for jumping on the really limited drops, because that's about all resellers are eating from these days. Also had the Drake's New Balance Allerdale, and not that Drake's is like a haberdasher based out of London or something like that, and they teamed up with New Balance on the Allerdale, which is like that $250 walking shoe, and these have sold out. Well, pretty much sold out. The smaller sizes are sitting in the US, and I think one or two of the smaller sizes are sitting in the UK. So yeah, this was a popular drop, go figure. Also had the raffle release for the Amamanier Air Max 95 as well as the Air Force One pack. I actually really like this pair of Air Max 95, so I am looking forward to these hopefully dropping and being an easy cop on the Nike Sneaker Zap when these arrive here in the UK. But apart from that, pretty chilled week full of releases. Did you guys pick anything up? Feel free to let me know if you did. Right, let's get into the news, and I want to start off with this story here. It involves Nike and the official images that we've seen of the upcoming Lego collaboration on the Dunk Low. And I mean, I know you know what I'm about to say. This shoe right here is interesting. It seems to draw direct inspiration from the whole cartoon customizing trend that has been doing the rounds among sneaker customizers now for years. You guys will, I mean, if you actually go online and you search up sneaker custom, bro, this style of sneaker custom is like one of the first images to come up, with the heavy bolded lines that trace around the stitching pattern to give the shoe this cartoonish look. This has been a staple in sneaker custom circles for years. I mean, I don't know who did it first, but customizers have been stealing and taking this idea from one another for years. And now Nike have used that look on this custom Lego Dunk. I mean, this Lego Dunk. And it's bringing about a whole heap of criticism from the sneaker community, who are accusing Nike of some extreme double standards, because obviously in recent times Nike have been taking to suing customizers on the regular for obvious reasons, but it's okay for them to take the ideas from sneaker customizers. So I guess at the end of the day, this does look like blatant copyright infringement, but if you haven't patented this idea, or if you haven't put your name or trademarked this particular style, bro, you're open for being ripped off, and you can't complain when that does happen. But yeah, it's not a good look for Nike. These are only coming out in smaller sizes, I think, a little bit further on down the line. And yeah, to be fair to them, they look kind of cool, so yeah. Right, so one of the shoes that has been getting the most press out of the whole Paris Fashion Week has been the Adidas collaboration with Pharrell on the Jellyfish. Arguably the most anticipated, or one of the most anticipated sneakers from Adidas to come out this year. The packaging we've gotten a look at looks crazy. Now, I don't know if this is the packaging that's going to be coming like with all of the regular releases. I wouldn't have thought so. These seem to be a special edition type thing, but they're coming in a plastic bag, reminiscent of the type of bag you might buy a fish in, as well as like the carrying box, complete with all of these different little accessories and self-styling kits. So very cool. Now, in terms of the colorways that are available or are going to be made available, this is the lineup that we have to look forward to. And out of all of these, man, I've got to say I'm most partial to the OG. Something about that white and that orange does it for me. So I'm going to be looking forward to trying to get my hands on a pair of these. It does look like they're going to be making this a big feature for the brand moving forward with all of the different colorways that they've got going on. $300 or around 280 quid is the price point, which is very expensive, but that price point is not going to stop these things from selling out when they do drop. Right, let's catch up on the developing story that is the beef one of the biggest sneaker beefs of the year. This story isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and if 2Js has his way, it's going to be aired out entirely online. So we're talking about 2Js versus the shoe surgeon or urban necessities. This week, he filmed himself standing on business, pulling up to urban necessities and pretty much calling out everything that he's seen going on. You can see him pulling up here to a U-Haul that was parked out the back of urban necessities and then just questioning the cats inside. What are they doing? Packing this truck full of shoes. The dudes in the truck claimed that they were consigners and they've effectively come to pick up their product. Then 2Js gets into it with a security guard who's trying to keep him out of the store that he still is a part owner of. And then 2Js is basically on the shop floor calling out everybody there for not communicating, for not getting back to him, for not trying to bring about a timely resolution to the disputes. And after this post went live, we actually got another post from someone on the other side. Urban Necessities Director of Finance called out 2Js in the comments section of a Complex Sneakers post, saying, "2Js, you are losing it. Do you remember what the books/inventory looked like when you were selling Joni's shares? Do you remember the money paid from the business account to your personal Amex in 2023? 2Js has since responded to that. And so the whole thing is a gigantic mess. It's still ongoing. One thing I've definitely got to give 2Js some credit for is for standing on business and for at least making a really solid attempt to air all of this out in public with full transparency and accountability. The bro has been taking shots from myself as well. I made a video kind of making fun of the fact that he got into this shocking situation with a bad contract, and he actually messaged me to say, "Bro, look, I know that's a bit of a messed up thing to say," but he took it in good spirit. So yeah, this story is continuing to develop. So make sure you guys are following me over on IG as well as subscribe to the channel here as I keep you guys updated. Right, let's talk about some new sneakers. This is an exciting collaboration, and dare I say it, this is probably one of the collaborations from Jordan brand that most people out there are getting excited about. And it's not the type of Jordan you would generally expect. It's the Air Jordan 17 collab with Infinite Archive. So we've got 3 colorways. We've got the royal blue colorway, we've also got a red colorway, and then there's also a purple colorway that I think is inspired by some early PEs. No specific release date information other than they're going to be releasing in the fall. Now the Air Jordan 17, as we know last year from the Lightning release as well as the UNC release, has got people's attention. I feel like there's a lot of retro fatigue right now with Jordan brand and the lower numbered Js, and so these types of models, the 17s, are desirable because not a lot of people have got these types of models in their collections, apart from maybe the older heads that were all about this model in the early 2000s. And people are looking for something fresh, man. People are ready for something a little bit new to get excited about. So I wouldn't be surprised if these things are incredibly difficult to get and end up reselling for a bit of bread. So this was pretty crazy. Jumpman are going all in on the promo for the shattered backboard ones, including this drone show that showed out in Trieste to celebrate the upcoming release of the Air Jordan 1 shattered backboard. I mean, the level of skill needed to orchestrate this drone stuff is, yeah, beyond my comprehension. To be fair, it's probably all AI automated to a certain extent. I'm not sure, but yeah, this footage looks dope. Now, speaking about the shoes, I think these are going to brick. The early prices out there are indicating that this shoe is going to be a very easy cop. We've got full family sizing. I don't really think this is going to be a particularly difficult shoe to cop, which is fantastic news if you think about 2015, that pair selling out and going on to resell in the hype of Jordan 1s for like $1,500 in some sizes. So yeah, the good news is if this is a shoe you've been out for a long time, they're going to be an easy cop. The bad news is if you overpaid massively like a lot of people did for the 2015 pair, this is going to feel like a little bit of an L given how easy this pair is going to be to cop. Right, let's talk about some new sneakers. This one we've seen at Paris Fashion Week. It's another New Balance loafer-esque, dare I say, wallaby type shoe. It's called the 1890. Now, when it comes to jumping on the trends or fusing together the New Balance aesthetic with whatever's currently trending, man, New Balance are on top of the game. Think about what they did in recent times with the loafer. Think about what they did with the mule. When it comes to blending like aspects of fashion and sneakers, yeah, New Balance are definitely right at the tip of the spear. Now, this particular colorway I'm not crazy about, but the aesthetic is clean if you're into that type of look. You've got the absorb technology on the midsole. So yeah, in a different colorway, I could see these being really popular. In fact, in this colorway, I can see these being really popular as well. Are Nike milking the Mamba? I don't know how you guys feel, but when we started getting Kobe retros a few years ago, not long after his passing, there was a lot of hype around those releases. It felt like they were doing a lot to sort of preserve the memory of the Mamba whilst still retaining his presence in the world of sneakers. Now it kind of feels like they're pumping out Kobe's left, right, and center. We've got Protros coming out all the time. We've got Air Force Ones coming out all the time. And this is the latest one. It's a FC Barcelona inspired Mamba Air Force One low. Clean shoe. FC Barca branding on the tongue, very nice looking sneaker, but yeah, I don't know, man. Personally, I'm down for less Kobe's in general, but really all I want is a retro or a protro of the Kobe 6 Barcelona Mango. That colorway, that shoe is like one of my grails. I would love to see that shoe come back. And to be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if they did come back, probably next year. Can quote me on that. If I had a look at the Premium Goods hyper exclusive Air Max 1 collab, which is limited to 718 pairs, and that number is tied to the Brooklyn area code, something like that. They're releasing on the 18th of July next month, and we've seen a pair being gifted here or being transferred over into the custody of Clint419, who's fast becoming a sneaker previewer out there, which is understandable given his influence and his connections to Nike at the minute. Now, the shoe looks like a few different types of shoes. There's a New Balance that these look like. There's also a little bit of a reference, I think, to maybe DJ Clark Kent's previous collabs on the Air Force Ones. All that's a little bit speculative at the moment, but yeah, these are looking clean. It's a nice looking shoe. These are going to be incredibly difficult to get. All right, let's talk about the Air Jordan 40. This is a sneaker that is dividing sneakerheads out there left and right. I haven't seen a more polarizing shoe in time. Like, the amount of people that have been trashing this shoe and then the amount of people that have been praising this shoe is evident in any of the comment sections of any posts you guys are seeing out there. So we've got 3 colorways to take a look at, and they all kind of differ materially from one another. We'll talk about the colorways in a second, but let's go through some of the inspiration that this shoe draws from. So you've got inspiration from the Jordan 14, you've got the 5, you've also got some callbacks to the Jordan 12 as well as the Jordan 3, even a little bit to the 4 with the cement splatter on the back, as well as the 18. Asymmetrical collar designs is a common Jordan feature. These things feature a premium leather construction. They've got ZoomX foam, which is great for the whole energy return. They look like a solid performance basketball shoe. They've got this unique traction pattern as well with 40-degree angles to help players start and stop on a dime. Like, I don't know what people out there were looking for with this Jordan. This is supposed to be a hoop shoe, not the type of shoe you're wearing down the mall to go and pick up a Frappuccino or something like that. So yeah, I actually like this first colorway, which is being called the Classic. These things are coming out on July the 12th, $200. We've also seen a blue suede as well as a dusty rose colorway, and they all seem to differ somewhat materially from one another, with the dusty rose featuring a little bit more of like a patent leather type look in the upper about them. I'm not as crazy about the dusty rose pair or the blue suede, but I do like the Fear of God pair, the Crazy Infinity Jerry Lorenzos. I do feel like they're pretty cool. Will I cop them to hoopin'? No, I mean, maybe, I don't know, man. I definitely got to take a look at it. I feel like this is the most exciting new Jordan we've had for some time, but I'm sure a lot of you guys out there are going to disagree with that. We've had our best look yet at the Cavestone Air Jordan 4s. So these are dropping on the 6th of September, I think. So I think this is probably the best colorway on an Air Jordan 4 GR-wise that we've had for some time now. But given the current market with Jordans, especially with Jordan 4s, unless they make these incredibly limited, I feel like these will be an easy cop. So this is news coming in fresh off the press. Westside Gunn has pulled up on IG to show off an unreleased Saucony Paramount, which is set to drop in 2026. So yeah, good look at them here. It's a clean looking runner. I'm not really that familiar with the Saucony Paramounts, but yeah, they look pretty similar to a lot of the other running shoes and mesh stuff out there. So yeah, this is going to be another one of those shoes that polarizes people. Obviously, if you're a Westside Gunn fanatic, these are going to be a bit of a no-brainer. If you're kind of on the fence with Saucony, I guess what I would say in their defense in general is that they are very comfortable and they are on the come up. Now, another shoe that is dividing opinion for a number of different reasons is the Air Jordan 5 Tokyos, and a lot of chatter has crept up because of these in-hand videos and pics that we have seen, because there's something about this particular shoe that looks a little bit squiffy, looks a little bit off. Dare I say, these almost look a little bit like reps. I've heard some people out there calling these the boneless Tokyos, because I don't know, there's just like not much shape to them, or like not much oomph to them. They look a little bit flat, you know, a little bit dehydrated. I'm not sure, especially if you look at these particular pictures. Now, I'm liking them. This is one of those shoes that for me, I've always wanted a pair of Tokyo 5s. I've tried hard in the past to like locate a pair, and obviously nowadays looking for a pair of Tokyo 5s is, you know, a silly endeavor to undertake, because even if you do find a pair, you're likely going to overpay for a pair that you're going to have to sole swap anyway. So these are just in time. But don't forget what happens to the Lightning 4s when they dropped a few years ago. They went on to pretty much tank and brick. Bright yellow doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be hype. So could I see the Tokyo 5 sitting in 2025, man? Given the Jordan trajectory, yes, I could see these actually sitting in some sizes. Probably the bigger sizes, not so much. It really depends on how limited they decide to make these. So yeah, I'm personally still on board with the hype for the Tokyo 5s, but I don't know if everyone else is. What are you guys saying? Do you think these are going to be an easy cop or not? Let me know. Now, the other complaints that I'm seeing out there from sneakerheads, why do we do this? Why are we so prone to complain? I guess it's our right? It's our prerogative to be able to complain about the stuff that we're probably going to buy anyway. We're talking about the Air Jordan 8 Aquas. This is, in my opinion, the best Air Jordan 8 colorway of all time. Don't at me. These playoffs, fire. I had the 2007 pair, skipped out on the 2015 pair, sold my 2007 pair, so I'm actually going to be in the market for these because I actually really like this shoe. Colorway is dope. So if we look at the shoe, there are a few reasons why people are complaining about these. One is that there's no glitter, and the other is that the shade of gray on the upper is a little bit too light. It's not dark enough, not charcoaly enough, which are both like valid complaints, to be honest. You'd probably have to situate these next to an OG pair in order to get a sense for how accurately they've reified these. But yeah, look, man, people out there that are going to be complaining, keep that energy come release date, because I would like to be able to cop these, preferably on sale. Right, here's one for the unks out there, the older heads. The Nike Zoom Hyperflight is coming back next year, we're hearing. Some of you guys out there might be thinking, bro, what the hell are these? Like I said, man, this is for the older heads out there. We've got the Varsity Purple, white and black. These colorways debuted back in 2001. So yeah, crazy how time flies. You can see the inspiration for the GT Future, Nike's shoe that they're gatekeeping and pretty much relying on Wale to exclusively advertise at this point. So you can kind of see the similarities in terms of the shape around the ankle collar, the top line, the general silhouette. Think these, but with a posits type formula on the upper, and you've got the GT Future. Yeah, people are going to be completely up for these. But a new look at the Air Jordan 11 Rare Air, which are supposedly dropping on October the 1st for 230 bucks. I don't know how I feel about these, man. Like, the Jordan going down the eyelets isn't really it to me. The foggy, cloudy, milky outsole doesn't really do it for me. These look like fakes. I don't know, man. They look like some bootlegs you'd find in the back streets of Bangkok or something like that. They've also got the oxidized or the creamy looking laces. Yeah, I don't know, man. To be honest, I'm not really wearing my 11s much anymore. I can't see myself copying these, especially with the pricing at 230 bucks or around 205 odd pounds. I think I'm gonna be good on these. And that is it for today's episode. Gang, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Do me a favor and like it before you bounce. And if you really wanna help me out, go and give my other channel a subscribe. I really would appreciate it. I'm not gonna do any of the upcoming releases for this week to look out for in this video. I'm gonna be bringing you guys my top sneakers to look out for in July tomorrow in all likelihood. So make sure you guys have got the notification bell switched on so you can be alerted forthrightly when that banger inevitably drops. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will see you then. Take care for now and peace.